the whole lot. Oh, it does smell good. Well, that's really nice. Meat is lovely. The fish is lovely even, sorry. And you get a slight hint of the seaweed as well in it, which is really nice too. Hi everyone and welcome back to Gugu's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make my delicious salmon, spring onion and seaweed burgers. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious salmon, spring onion and seaweed burgers. Now this recipe is really easy to prepare and cook, and it's a really tasty meal too. My son and I love salmon, we love fish. My husband isn't so keen, but he doesn't mind this recipe, I have to say. I tried this out on them a few weeks ago and it seemed to go down really well. They didn't notice the seaweed that I put in there either, so fingers crossed they won't notice it this time. The seaweed just adds a little bit of extra flavour to the salmon. It's a bit of a salty flavour. It tastes a bit like the sea, and it does really feel like you have gone back to the sea when you eat it. So it's always nice to have it when you haven't gone to the seaside for a while like us. So I thought I'd make these for dinner today, and I've got all my ingredients ready to go. The first thing I need to do is I need to remove the skin from the salmon. So to do this, I've got myself a fish knife. Now you can use an ordinary knife, but a fish knife is very flexible. As you can see, I'm just bending that on my board. So it makes it easier to remove the skin when it's flexible. So I'm just going to remove all the other fish out of the way, and I'm going to slide the knife between the skin and the flesh. I'm just going to put my hand on top to keep it safe, and then I'm just going to slide along like that, and that will hopefully get rid of the skin. So I'll show you again on the next piece as well. So I'm just going to slide the knife under the skin, and I'm going to slide along, if I can, the salmon like so, very carefully as I go. So I'm just going to go down to the bottom of the salmon, and I'm going to remove the skin like that, and I'm going to do the same with the other two pieces as well. I've removed all of the skin from the pieces of salmon, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop these salmon pieces into chunks so that they blend a bit easier when I put them into the food processor. So I'm just going to chop them up. And while I'm here, I just thought I'd say that if you have enjoyed this video and you haven't yet subscribed, then please feel free to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, then please give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more like this, then please give it a big thumbs up, because all of those sorts of things really help me out and let me know what people have enjoyed and what they haven't. So please feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and also please feel free to leave any comments below. If you have any questions about this burger, then please feel free just to leave me a question below. I love answering questions, so please do that. I'll stop saying please in a minute. Anyway, I've chopped all of the salmon up now, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into my food processor. And before I do anything else, I'm just going to go and wash my hands. I have washed my hands, so I'm now going to put the rest of the ingredients into the food processor. So here I have 1 grated carrot. Now in the original recipe, I didn't actually grate a carrot and put it in, but I felt like it today. I do like my husband and son to have vegetables in their diet, so I always try to hide it in food. They don't tend to eat raw vegetables, my husband and son. I do, I love them, but they don't, so I always try to put a bit of veg in somewhere. So I'm just going to add some carrot to this today. So I'm going to put that into the food processor, and then I have 1 bunch of spring onions here as well that I have simply topped and tailed. So I've removed the top and the tail from the spring onions, and then I've just sliced them into like 1/4 centimetre pieces. It doesn't matter how big or small the pieces are, you are going to blend all of these ingredients together, so it won't matter too much. They've just rolled everywhere, those. empty spring onions. And now I am going to add in some almond flour to this. So if you haven't got almond flour, you could use plain flour if you wanted to, or wholemeal flour, anything to sort of bind it together. So I'm going to use 2 big tablespoons of almond flour as well. And then I'm going to add my seaweed in, and I'm only going to add a teaspoon of seaweed. It does smell like the sea, I promise you. So I'm only going to add a teaspoon of seaweed in here. Seaweed is quite strong and it has a lot of iodine in it, so you don't need a lot. A little bit is fine. So I'm just going to add about a teaspoon into there. And then I'm going to add some salt and some pepper. So salt and pepper to your taste. Obviously we already have the seaweed in there, so you probably don't want to add too much salt because it might become a bit too salty for you. And then I'm just going to add a pinch of pepper as well, not too peppery. So, and now what I'm going to do is I'm hopefully going to blend these ingredients together. I am! My blender works! There we go! Blending the mixture until the ingredients are smoothish. They kind of formed a sort of dough ball in there as well. That's kind of what you want to happen. And I have dampened my hands, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and split the mixture into 4. I think I'm just going to grab a piece, to be honest. I'm just going to grab a piece of this mixture and I'm just going to make it into a burger shape. The mixture will be sticky, but that's okay. I'm going to put this into the fridge for hopefully about 6 hours. You can make these the day before and put them in the fridge overnight as well if you want to. They do keep quite well in the fridge overnight. I have tried it with one and it did keep okay. So I'm just going to put that on the plate like so, and I'm going to put a little dimple in it as well, and that will hopefully make a brilliant burger. By putting the dimple in it, it will stop it from rising in the oven, so you won't get such a circular burger. So I'm just going to take a bit more of the mixture, like so, and pass it down in my hands, make it into a burger shape, and then I'm going to put a little dimple in the middle, and I'm going to go and wash my hands because I need to just dampen my hands again. And then I'm going to continue making the rest of these burgers. I have finished making the burgers, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into the fridge for about 6 hours. It's almost dinner time in our house, so I'm going to preheat my oven to 200 degrees. While the oven preheats, I'm also going to put a baking tray into the oven as well, and this will hopefully help the burgers to become quite juicy and tender and soft. So when the cold meat from the fridge hits the baking tray, it will help the juices to come out, and then the meat will become lovely and tender, or the fish will become lovely and tender. So I'm going to put this in while the oven preheats. So I'm going to transfer the salmon burgers to the baking tray, which has been in the oven preheating with the oven. I've also got my chips cooking underneath as well. And I'm just going to put this back into the oven. I'm going to cook these for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'd say 15, and I'll check on them after 15. So the fish burgers have been in the oven for about 15 minutes, and I can tell that they're cooked because they are flaking away from themselves really easily. So I'm going to take these out of the oven and I'm going to serve up, and that will be our dinner done. But I'm going to try them before I finish this video because they smell so good. I can't wait. It's almost dinner time, but I thought I'd just give this a little try before I sit down to eat the whole lot. Oh, it does smell good. Well, that's really nice. Meat is lovely. The fish is lovely even, sorry. And you get a slight hint of the seaweed as well in it, which is really nice too. So yes, I'm looking forward to that for my dinner. That's how you make my delicious salmon, spring onion and seaweed burgers, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having these for our dinner this evening and they smelled and tasted so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon.